About 90 days is normally what I give the average person that really wants to discover their voice. And the reason is because I have to break down any old habits and rebuild new habits. And we are creatures of habit. And lots of times it takes a little bit for us to kind of to learn new things, even with speaking too. It's not just with singing. I mean, as a speaker, they're old habits. They're just bad habits that you may have as a speaker.
An example.
For example, speaking hard, right? And just going in. Or, for example...
But in the defense of that...
Yeah.
Sometimes that's one of the things that will help you get your point across with passion, because people can feel you when you're really going in.
Absolutely. So what I teach you is not to lose the passion, but to now add passion with technique. Because the thing about it is that if you add that passion, you utilize the breath support, it allows your voice to project so you don't have to go so hard. You see what I'm saying? Also, you have to know when to have periods of what we call inflection. So when you go up with your voice, when you come down with your voice, that helps a lot. Also, a good microphone helps too. Because what I see a lot of speakers have is that we use the wrong mics at times, right? So this is a podcast mic, it picks up. Yeah. But when you're doing masterminds or you're doing workshops, you can use a lapel mic. You need to make sure that lapel mic is not here where it's so far away that it's not projecting your voice, because a lot of these mics are one directional, which means that you have to sing or speak directly inside of the mic for your voice to pick up. So if you still want to do the passion, you don't have to work so hard if you also have a good mic that works with it as well.
Got you.
Yeah.
What do you think about Marvin Sapp's voice? Because he has a scratchy, Kelly, I'm sorry, that was Neil. Marvin Sapp has a raspy voice.
Yeah.
But he sings good.
He does. But you want to know the truth?
Yes.
A lot of people out here have vocal problems that they don't want to tell anybody about, because obviously if people know that they have vocal problems, they won't get called for a gig. There's a lot of singers out here that are living gig by gig to gig, paycheck to paycheck. And the truth of the matter is a lot of these singers have come through and they look for a quick fix. And even speakers, Marvin Sapp is not just a singer, he's a speaker, he's a pastor. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And we have a lot of pastors now doing podcasts. We have a lot of pastors that are now doing a lot of different things like masterminds and stuff like that. They cannot even get through sermons to even brand on radio stations anymore. Wow. And so as a result of that, you have so many of them going through vocal issues right now, but it's almost like they have vocal shame. Because you cannot out there and say, oh, I have nodules or polyps or, all of these major things that's happening with the voice.
Gotcha. Attention, coaches, consultants, course creators. If you get paid based off your knowledge, I'm going to tell you something very, very important, okay? What if I could teach you how to make extra 5 to 6 figures every single month using simple Facebook and Instagram ads, all right? Let me tell you about my boy. He got the paid ad playbook. Listen, this paid ad playbook is going to give it to you for free, first off. Marquel Russell, one of the most genuine people I've ever met, he's created over $500 million in client revenue using the paid ad playbook strategy, all right? So listen, go to socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. If you want to get 50 to 100 new client leads every day that actually convert, you need to go to socialproofgift.com or text proof to 904-447-5274. And he's going to give you a bonus video that helps you with a strategy to customize your particular strategy for your particular business. All right? Again, socialproofgift.com, text proof to 904-447-5274. Let's get into the episode. Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find dope people that did really, really dope stuff. And you are the person not only doing something amazing, but you support the people who do something amazing.
Absolutely.
And so I'll have you kind of share what you do, because you're a vocal coach, right?
Not just a vocal coach.
Not just a vocal coach?
No.
I thought you helped with the vocal. So a vocal is singing, not just your voice. Okay, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I am the person that most speakers and singers never knew they needed. I am a celebrity vocal coach, but I also concentrate in, this is fancy.
Okay.
All right, it's called pedagogy performance. All right, or performance pedagogy, which is just a simple term of saying techniques, right? And I literally help high performing speakers like yourself, singers secure the bag, secure the gig without losing their voice. And so...
I'm sorry, real quick. When you say secure the gig without losing
Yeah.
your voice, what do you mean?
Yeah, because think about it. Okay, let's math it, right? So you have something coming up soon, right? What do you have coming up soon?
We have the morning meetup. It'll be about 400 or 500 people there.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure you probably have challenges, masterminds, things like that, right?
Yeah. So it's like a conference. So I'll be kind of teaching and bringing people in. Yeah.
Okay, so if we were to math it really quickly, let's say you have 400 people come in, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you want to reach a certain goal, a number goal of what you want to reach, right? So put a number out there. What's the goal you'd like to reach without giving the goal?
People or financial?
Financially.
Oh, well, talking about like for the year?
Well, just for whatever you're getting ready to do.
Well, okay, so this one isn't, I'm not charging them. They're just already a part of my community.
Let's talk if you were charging somebody right now for a challenge or charging somebody for a mastermind or charging
$1 million.
Okay, $1 million. All right. So what if one day you just woke up and you no longer had your voice? And the thing about it is that no one really thinks about the value of their voice until it's gone.
Yeah.
The one thing we all have in common, everybody that's born in this world, is that we were born not just with the brain, which is our asset, our mind, but our voice is an asset too. As a matter of fact, I can shut my eyes, you can speak, and everyone will know it's David Shan's voice. Because your voice within itself carries a tone, right? That is marketable, that monetizes even without seeing you. Yeah. So every single time you come and you sit here, you say, hey, it's David Shan's, that within itself is voice equity.
That's real. I went to, what's that store? Dillard's? Oh, that's why I was in Dillard's. But it was, where was I? I was somewhere and I asked the lady something. I was asking, where can I get a button-up shirt? I think I need a shirt for an event or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like looking down. She looked up. She's like, oh. And she's like, I just knew your voice. And this was maybe like a few months ago. And I said, wow, I have a recognizable voice.
Absolutely.
That's really cool.
You have a recognizable voice. You have a brand equity building voice. You have a poverty breaking voice.
Here's what's crazy. Ever since we sat down and started a conversation, I feel like something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if my voice scratchy or is it sore?
Yeah, it is scratchy.
I never noticed.
Yeah. Most people don't. That's the thing. So I see you drinking water right now. I'm not going to ask you what brand water you're drinking, right?
Regular.
But even down to the brand of water you're drinking matters, right? And just so that you know, you drinking that bottle of water right now is doing nothing to your vocal folds.
It doesn't
even touch your vocal folds. It's not even physiologically possible.
Really? Okay, real quick scenario. So I drink I drink really, really good water, but let's just say Deer Park or Nestle.
Let's just say Deer Park and Nestle. So it's important for you to know the pH of the actual brand of water.
Really?
Yeah. I brought my friend here today, who's also my business partner, but he was a client of mine. And when he came to me, he was very healthy, everything like that. But he was just like, Shayla, I have something going on with my voice. I don't know what it is. And I said, well, what type of water are you drinking? Come to find out, he was drinking water that was acidic.
Really?
Right? Yeah. That literally started to cause acid pockets burning at his throat. Okay. So we had to reroute the way he drinks water, the way he eats, everything like that. And so it's important for you to know that. Why? Because can I get a little nerdy on you?
Please.
Okay.
Hold on. So the type of water I drink creates acid pockets.
If not careful, what it does is
because the water I'm drinking don't have no pH. It was my wife.
pH.
I know my wife. She just gets she'll just get the 24 pack of water, and I think she just picks a water. Like we don't. I do the same thing, right?
Okay. Let's reroute how we do this, right? Your stomach pH alone is between a 1 and a 3.5, right? And the reason for that is because that's what helps break down, foods and stuff in the body. But if you are drinking like sodas and coffee and lemon and, all of these things that are high in acid, what it's doing is it's causing acid reflux, which is like your stomach is like a volcano going. And when you're sleeping at night, especially if you sleep on your left side, your stomach is upside down. So what's happening is...
I sleep on my left?
Yeah, if you sleep on your left side. So when you wake up and you're like, yo, what's going on with my voice? It's because all that acid, when you're sleeping, is coming up through what we call your esophagus. And because you're not swallowing at night, it goes right into your voice box and burns away at the throat and burns away at the vocal cords. So when you wake up every day and you're just like, yo, what's going on with my voice? How come I can't speak? Like, why am I losing my voice in the morning meetup, right? And you're drinking that tea is not doing anything for you because the acid has already eaten away at your voice.
Does it repair itself?
Okay, yes, but you have to do the work to do that, right? Which means that you have to watch, one, your stress levels, all right? Because people don't know. And a lot of
stress affects my voice.
Your stress affects your voice in multiple ways. In multiple ways. First thing is it actually spikes acid reflux, which, okay, this is a really big word, which forms something called laryngopharyngeal reflux, which is acid reflux in the actual voice box, right?
It's laryngopharyngeal reflux. Don't worry about it. It's called LPR. Okay.
Right? Now, what that does is when you get a sore throat in the morning, you're wondering why you have a sore throat or why your voice is scratchy or why you have a nasal drip, a post-nasal drip, all that could be acid reflux. Or if you're like scratching the back of your throat or you keep clearing your throat all the time or you keep coughing all the time, all those things could be signs of LPR.
I want to clear my throat so bad right now, but
yeah, and the average speaker never thinks about that. And then stress. Let's talk about stress because stress also spikes the acid levels, right, in your body that can actually lead to hoarseness and muscle tension around the vocal cords. So when you're just like, yo, I feel like a ring is around my throat or I feel like my neck is tight. Yeah, all of those things can be contributed because of stress as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know.
Okay, so first step, what type of water should I be drinking? Because Joe is trying to kill me. I would have never bought this water.
Joe is trying to kill you.
You feeding me Nestle, bro? This is a professional podcast.
So I would say anything that's a 7.4 pH and higher.
7.4 pH and higher.
Yeah. And the reason is because 7 is neutral, 8 to 14 is alkali. Anything 6 and below is acid, right? So your blood pH alone is between like a 7.4 and a 7.8, right? So, but your urine pH is between like a 6.5 and an 8. So you want to make sure that whatever you're putting in your body, it's not just the water, but everything else that contributes around it as well. All right.
Gotcha. But I can start with good water.
You can start with good water. So
is there a such thing as like of pH being too high of a water?
Yes. You don't want to go too high, but what I would say is, and I'll say this to you and any other high performing speaker out there who does a podcast, media, sports correspondent, whoever you are, you can go to Whole Foods and just ask for pH strips. Use the pH strips, when you use the bathroom, all right, to do number one. And you can actually see what your pH levels are looking like on the inside. And the truth of the matter is most of us that are ethnic, like African-American, Afro-Latino, Afro-Caribbean, a lot of us are dying from debilitating diseases because of our acid levels spiking in our body. We are not supposed to be acid prone. All right.
You one of them vegans?
No, I'm not a vegan at all.
It's talk like a true vegan.
I'm not a vegan, but I see this all the time because I have so many speakers and singers come to me with like serious issues. And hoarseness is not a disease, but is a sign of many different things. You see what I'm saying? So when you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm just hoarse, and you just keep going through your day, you have to understand that your vocal cords have no pain receptors.
So I can't feel when it's
your
being
vocal
affected.
Cords have no pain receptors. It has no nerve endings. So by the time you're like, yo, something's going on in my voice, or your voice gets scratchy or almost gone, you could have done substantial amounts of damage to your vocals and don't even know it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Golly.
You could have. And that's why, like for me, I share about, the vocal blueprint, the vocal hacks that every speaker should know, because at the end of the day, there are at least 7 things you need to know as a speaker.
Let's go through those 7.
Yeah. So the first things first is I'm going to ask you this. You have insurance on your voice?
No.
That's number 1.
I have insurance on my voice.
Absolutamente. If J-Lo could insure her butt, Tina Turner could insure her legs, David Shands needs to insure his voice.
So how does that work as the insurance on your...
Well, we're gonna work that out. We could definitely come to me. So what I'm doing is I work with an actual affiliate, insurance company, a brokerage that actually works with entertainers and speakers, high-end speakers. And through my company, we actually help to ensure.
Can you give me an example of like some real numbers?
Absolutely. So for example, for you, let's say for you, you might want to insure your voice for about maybe $2 million, $3 million, right? Because you have to think about it. If you go to an event, let's say you have a major event, and let's say you're being, somebody's charging you $200,000 to speak at this event, right? And let's say over the course of that $200,000 or that event, you make in the back end from that event $2-3 million. But let's say you wake up one day, you had mold toxicity in your hotel room and your voice goes. And speakers never think about things like that. Mold toxicity is a number one killer of the voice. And it happens so much when we're in planes and hotels, in our homes. So you wake up, you have no voice. And David Shand has to go out on that stage and deliver with no voice. What can happen is, depending on the contract that you sign, with whomever that you did and contracted with, they can either sue you, ask you for the money back. You got to get back your deposit. And no one ever thinks about, how do I cover myself just in case something happens where my voice doesn't show up?
Wow. Does everybody offer this, or
no?
Just you?
Not just me. There's people that offer it, but there's a lot of people that are not knowledgeable of it. Yeah. And so that's where I come in, because for me, one, I'm trusted. Number two, I work with a lot of speakers and singers. I'm knowledgeable in what I do. And so at the end of the day, why not have a vocal health expert say, hey, listen, I'm working with you. I need you to get your voice insured, because when you come to me and you have no voice, but you have a show or you have a performance or you have a TED Talks coming up or you have a major podcast to do or you have to interview a big person, you got to make sure that your best voice shows up in that room.
That is a fact. Somebody said, so we were just talking about it on another episode. So I did this event called Social Proof 7.
Yep.
And this was a real estate panel. So one guy, Eddie, has 5,000 properties.
My God.
Another guy, A. Donahue Baker, he's got like 400 or 500 units. And he said something that just changed my life.
Yeah.
He said, you were there, right? He said, and some of you remember this, he said, if I could walk away from my business today for a year and come back a year later and my income will be the exact same.
Wow. Wow.
I said, yo, I can't do that.
Well, yes, you can. Because what you're doing is you're leaving an imprint and a legacy with your voice.
Right. But so even all the content that I create, it's not like I could leave for a year and I'm not going to be homeless. Right. Right. But it'll dip. Right. If you don't have no clients, you can't. Right.
Absolutely.
But I was like, yo, this conversation actually just kind of ties in. One, I need to buy more real estate, because you need to build something that's not around your brand. But that's a scary thing. If you don't have that set up, and it's based on you having something valuable to say, which in our head, I'll always be able to perform. Yeah. But sometimes physically, it's not something that you chose not to be able to speak. You just can't.
Right. You just can't. And a lot of people just never think about it. So, one of those things, having voice insurance. Another thing I'll ask you, when you start these podcasts, you see how your voice is scratchy and stuff like that? Do you even warm up your voice?
No. I talk to Joe a little bit. We talk a little bit.
Nah, you a vocal athlete. And at the end of the day, when Kobe, we talk about the, Mamba experience, or when LeBron gets on that, before the coach even comes, they're stretching. They're free throwing. They're doing stuff. We use our vocal folds so much, like overuse of it, but we never think of stretching the muscles.
All right. So how do I stretch my vocal muscles?
Absolutely. So something's fun. I tried this at a mastermind actually in Puerto Rico recently with Circle of Greatness. But little things like lip trills, right? Lip trills, lip trills.
Wasn't that a song by Nelly?
No.
Okay, I got you. I'm bugging.
Yeah.
It wasn't lip drill. You need a lip drill. All right, cool. Okay.
But lip trills is literally like, putting your lips together.
Lip trills.
And going all the way up.
Hold on.
All the way up,
hold
right?
On, hold on. Coach me real quick.
Breathe. Okay, so breathe through your nostril. Sit up straight. Breathe through your nostril.
Hold on, I had some postnasal drip.
Yeah. That's that acid.
Hold on, because this ain't going to help me, though.
Go ahead and drink it. It'll clear your throat.
I'm thirsty, but I don't want to drink it in front of you.
No, go ahead and drink it. It's fine. You got to make sure that you do lubricate. And just to let you know, you have to drink water so that your body within itself can produce watery mucus.
Okay.
right? So what you're going to do, you sit up, breathe through your nostril, and you can do this in the shower. You could do this at home. You could do this in the car. All right. It don't got to be perfect.
Okay.
All right. You start low, the lowest of your voice, and just go.
I for sure have to do that in the car. So we got to do that in the whip. I'm not about to be right here like, hey guys, we're going to start the show, but hold on. What's up with you? All right, so okay, here we go.
Yeah. Try it. Go.
You try it, Joe. You laughing hard. Yeah. Okay.
Listen. All the way up.
I can't.
Yeah. Okay, so if you can't do that, that's fine. If you have a coffee straw, don't drink coffee because coffee is dehydrating, right? But if you have a coffee straw.
You got a coffee straw over there?
All right, you can get a small coffee straw and you can do the same thing. Because what it's doing is putting pressure back into your voice box. And the
You're
pressure,
blowing out of the straw?
Yeah, you literally like almost, it's not humming, but you're literally like singing into the straw. So I can demonstrate for you. But you're not a singer, right? So you're doing something called inflections, all right? Because you're not a singer, all right? Unless you sing in the shower or something like that.
You want one?
All right, absolutely. Thank you. So what you do is the smaller the hole here, the greater the resistance. Right. And the reason why you're doing it is because this is an exercise that relaxes the muscles of your vocal cords so that when you start doing your pockets, you can do it. So you just go.
Oh, so I'm not blowing out of it.
You're blowing into it, but no, not humming, but you're blowing. And you'll feel the pressure. Right. You'll feel the pressure circulating back in. If you do it properly, you'll feel the pressure circulating back into your voice box. Let's do it again. There you go. There you go. Yeah. And if you do it
how'd you get so high?
Well, I'm a female voice, by the way, but you can as go as how you can. All right. Make sure no air comes out your nostril and then do it from the top all the way back down again. Yep. And if you do that about maybe 5 to 10 minutes every day, what it does, you'll see how it makes a difference in your voice. Even as a speaker, absolutely. You have to be able to stretch the muscle because that's like getting in a car and starting it off and don't warm the car up. You see what I'm saying? And what you're doing is when you speak, like literally, you're slamming your folds together violently. And that's how a lot of speakers end up getting things like blood on their vocal folds. And nodules and bumps and all kinds of stuff on their vocal folds. It's not just hoarseness. You see what I'm saying?
But I want to try the little brr thing because I feel like I can do it.
So what you got to do is you got to make sure that you breathe because the breath is really the secret sauce to it. So you got to fill in and use the air from your lungs and allow the air to come up through your trachea, your windpipe, and out.
That is impressive. Yeah. Try it, Joe. It's harder than it thinks. It's harder than it looks. Try it. Try it real quick. Let's see you.
Try it. There you go. Exactly.
Oh, he's good at it. Hold on.
That's
okay, hold on. I can do this.
Yeah, do it.
If he can do it, I can do it. You did this before or no? I've heard I can't. I don't know why my lips don't come together when it gets to a certain height. Is that like something wrong? Is that a weakness in my voice?
No, it's just something that you have to practice, but also it requires air pressure. So the more air pressure you have coming up through your trachea, the more it allows the lips to actually move and vibrate and together.
He has more pressure than me?
Yes, he's utilizing a lot more pressure than you. And I think you're overthinking it as well.
Maybe. I'm going to try it in the car though.
But you could also take that same straw, put it in your bottle. Mm-hmm. Yep. Put it right in that bottle.
Just one of them?
Yeah, one is fine. All right.
All the way in?
Yeah.
Like drop it?
No. Like, so it reaches the water.
Okay.
So yeah, make it reach the water. You could do the same thing. So put the bottle up and you'll see the bubbles go through it and go all the way up. All the way up. But actually give a sound though. Like same thing you were doing. It's what we call sirens.
All the way in the water?
Yeah, just the tip of the water. Yeah. Right? So you get the bubbles. There you go. There you go. That's also... No. Keep the straw in.
Keep it in there. Okay.
Yeah, keep the straw in and go all the way up. There you go. Now, what you should feel is air circulating back here, which I can see. That relaxes the muscles around your vocal cords.
That's crazy because I do feel the pressure.
Exactly. So that is what we call straw phonation. All right. It's a fancy word in the vocal professional world.
It actually feels good.
Yeah, it's going to feel really good. And you're going to see how your voice is really going to be a lot more awake in the morning, especially because you have
Wow.
8 a.m. Meetups and stuff like
Mhm.
that. You're going to see how your voice, especially for when it's time for you to speak for long periods of time, this is going to work for you.
Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch your podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode. That's dope. Okay, so 1 was insurance. 2 was stretching your voice.
Absolutely.
What's 3? Because we got 7 of them, right?
The 3rd one is you need to make sure, as you have a dentist, you need to have an ear, nose, and throat doctor on your team.
That I think I need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of high-performing speakers and singers never think about that. As a matter of fact, your ear, nose, and throat doctor, what we call ENT, should be on speed dial. Because if you use your voice as it's your money, this is your money, this is your real estate.
Yeah.
So if you're using your voice all the time, just like how you have cavities that happens on your voice, on your teeth, you're using your voice, you're high-performing using your voice, and ear, nose, and throat doctor needs to be on your roster.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
So do they help me with, are they the ones that's helping me do the exercise, or are they going there when there's a problem?
So no, the ENTs really actually take something, it's called a laryngoscopy, and they take it down your nostril. It may seem a little weird, but they take it down your nostril, a really thin tube. And so they can actually see your vocal cords, because you can't see your vocal cords with the natural eye. All right. So you actually need something to go down there.
Can they put you to sleep?
No.
I couldn't do it.
Yes, you can.
Them tests, I'd be like, I'll never let them get all the way in there. You know what I mean? That's why I'm always negative.
You can do it. Or sometimes they can just do it through the mouth. You don't have to do it through the nose, okay? And it's not that bad do it through the mouth, and they just put a lid down with a little light, and you'll be able to see your vocal cords, and they'll be able to tell you, especially like if you're always feeling hoarse and fatigued all the time after you speak, it may be signs of other things, right? So they will be able to tell you, hey, you're having some...
I do be fatigued after I speak.
Right.
Especially when I go in and...
Yeah. So you could be doing a lot of strain on those folds, all right? And so the ear, nose, and throat doctor will actually tell you if you need surgery, if you don't need surgery, or it will send you to somebody like myself, which is the next step. You need to have an actual vocal health coach on your team.
Got you.
All right?
Okay, so you are the vocal health coach. Is there a lot of Black people in this?
There's a lot of people that are voice teachers. I don't know if there's a lot of people that do what I do, because I'm almost like a speech language pathologist and a vocal coach in one. The only thing is that my speech language pathologist friends or my network, they're similar to ear, nose, and throat doctors, but they specialize in speech and voice rehabilitation and things like that. So let's say, if, God forbid, someone had a stroke, they would go to a speech language pathologist that would help them to work on their speech and kind of strengthen their vocal cords again. Right.
Gotcha. So who are some of the people, because you came here with Q.
Yeah.
You work with him?
Yes. I work with Q. I work with, I work with Erica Campbell from Mary Mary.
Okay.
Yes, I've worked with a lot of singers in the gospel arena. I give Neo advice on vocal coaching as well. I've worked with a lot of artists in the Latin world. I don't know. I work specifically with Universal and Sony Latin. And so a lot of their clients come through my institute. So I've worked with so many people.
That's fire. Okay.
Yes.
Give me a scenario that you remember or that you could think of, and maybe you're involved or maybe you're not, where someone that really uses their voice like lost it.
Absolutely. So I'll give you a couple scenarios. I had one young lady who ended up having tongue cancer. Yeah. She came into my office. She had tongue cancer. They had to remove her tongue and create an artificial tongue with grafts through her foreskin and inside of her thigh and recreate a tongue again. But because she was not speaking, her vocal folds became weak. As a result of that, we had to do rehabilitation and restoration to get her vocal folds together. I had another
Hold
client.
on, what the heck is tongue cancer?
Tongue cancer is a thing.
How did she get it? Hookah, wasn't it?
So you can get tongue cancer from alcohol use. In her case, it was heavy drugs. Oh. Yes, it was heavy drugs, cocaine. As a result of that, and so she ended up receiving, tongue cancer. And if not caught, it would have spread to her neck and throat, which can cause vocal cancer, which will actually go into your voice box and actually land and grow on top of the actual vocal cords.
Goodness gracious.
And we have a lot of smokers that go through that. So that's one incident. I had another client of mine who had a brain tumor in the back of her brain that was actually sitting on her cerebellum. And that's the area that deals with fine muscle control. So I think a lot of people have this misconception that vocal problems only happen for speakers and singers based on what you do in performance, right? But no, there's a lot of other things that can happen, like COVID.
Yeah.
Right? Right now I have about 3 clients that are dealing with COVID voice. Have you ever heard of that?
COVID voice.
COVID voice. So COVID voice happens as the after effects of COVID. And what happens is the vocal cords get so tense because there's not enough air that's coming up to the vocal cords. You need air in order for you to speak. As a matter of fact, really quickly, try to breathe in and say your name at the same time. You can't do it.
I did say it a little bit.
No, you cannot breathe in and speak at the same time. You have to either do one or the other. It can't happen together.
You didn't hear that though?
You did.
Yeah, I'm a special case.
If you put your hand like this, put your hand like that and say it. Go.
Amen.
What'd you feel? You felt air, right?
Amen.
You felt air.
I don't know. No, I don't think I felt on air. I'm special. But
just physiologically, you cannot breathe in and speak at the same time. You need air in order to produce sound. So COVID voice is something that has happened. And even back with this young lady having this brain tumor, it causes the fine muscle control to go out of whack, and her vocal cords became semi-paralyzed as a result of it. I have, cases of so many people. I have a case of a client that has lupus. All right. And as a result of that, lupus weakens the folds. And so it's been really difficult for one of my clients to go through that because the body just goes through changes. Gotcha. Your vocal cords go through changes as you go through life. So even when it comes to things like depression and anxiety, the vocal cords actually feel that.
Yeah. Who do you think really needs your help? In terms of like somebody that, like a celebrity, like where they used to be.
Oh, you're going to get me in trouble.
They might reach out to you. So for instance, I think I heard Cisco one time and it ain't hit the way it used to hit. You feel me? But that just comes with age, right?
It comes with age, but it comes with abuse. We abuse our folks. Okay, so I'll give you one, and this is my brother, so I can say it. So I saw E.T. the other day, right? And so E.T. is like, Shayla, man, I need you. Now, E.T. goes hard. All right? But what's happening is that if not taken care of immediately, that can actually cause issues. Now, that has sort of kind of become a part of his brand, but it's almost to a detriment. You know what I mean? Now, he knows this because I've said this to him. So it's nothing that he doesn't know. So I would say that's definitely a person that I know because of the fact that he's a high-performing speaker.
Sure.
And he's probably the number one motivational speaker right now in the world, if not in the top 3, he's definitely a person.
Speaking of which, what do you think about Tony Robbins' voice? He has like a really scratchy voice.
Yes.
Was it always like that, or did it?
No, all rasp is not good rasp. All rasp is not good rasp.
Was he like that before? I don't know.
I would have to go back and listen to like...
I'm going to listen to some,
I have to go back and listen to
old school,
like young Tony Robbins to kind of like see.
I'm going to pull it up because I want to see. Because he has a raspy voice. Yeah. So does like Jadakiss.
Yes.
He has but is that are some raspy is just natural, right?
Yes and no. Some rasp or most rasp is usually because of what we call maladaptive behaviors. All right, maladaptive behaviors, bad habits.
Hold on, young Tony Robbins.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, my man looks crazy, by the way. This is crazy. All right. Well,
what if you could make a full-time living online, getting paid for your advice? You might not know this, but
the number one key to all success.
Let's see.
A man without goals, like a ship without a rudder, they both end up on the rocks. Kind of corny, but true. I thought that is it. The number one key to success is goal setting.
So you know this is not as raspy.
It's not as raspy.
Right.
Let's listen to some like new recent Tony. So Tony, y'all, you might want to holler at her. You know what I mean? Shay got you. Oh, what the heck?
How many of you know somebody who's always pissed off about something?
Yeah.
How many of you know somebody?
So that's just his voice changing over time?
Yes, and the voice ages.
Due to it, is it the voice changing over time due to abuse or it's just age?
Both. It's not just one or the other. That's a loaded question because you have so many different variables that actually do that. So in my I have a masterclass that I teach, right? 12-week accelerator. And what I do in that masterclass is I teach about, it's not just about one or two things. People can actually damage their voice because of lack of hydration, stress, lack of sleep. All right. Now we had this
team. Why you gotta emphasize that?
Yeah.
Like,
because you were one-time team no sleep. Remember, sleep is for suckers, right?
For sure.
So at the end of the day, what happens is that when you're not getting the adequate amounts of sleep as a high-performing speaker, as a Tony Robbins, or as a David Shands, or as a E.T., what happens is that all plays a toll on your voice. Then you have things like stress, not just physical stress, emotional stress, mental health stressors, negative coping mechanisms. All right. So alcohol, hard drugs, smoking, prescribed medications, inhalants, food disorders, food addictions. All right.
Wow.
Yeah. All those things affect the voice. Other health related issues. So if you deal with allergies, sinus, bronchitis, COVID, the common cold, the flu, you know what I mean? All of those things, hormonal changes. If you're taking steroids, right? You're working out. All those things can affect the voice. And age does it as well.
Gotcha. So off subject, well, it's still on subject. Could you teach me how to sing?
I can. Would you sing something right now?
Okay, this cue is here. Girl, when I tell you I love you.
Oh my.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to cheat on you.
I don't think that's the words. Is that the words?
Yes, it is the words. Those are the words.
So what you do, right? I can teach you how to sing. What you first have to do is posture. So you have to sit up a little bit. All right.
It was my posture making me sound like that. So.
Second of all, we got to make sure that your voice is hitting the right key. It's just like finding the right shoe size for you, right?
Okay.
So your voice needs the right, what we say, voice like song size or what we call key signature, right? So let's bring it down a little bit more. Like, girl, if I tell you,
I love you. That doesn't mean that I'm
not that low.
I'm gonna never do. See, I went high.
You went high again.
Okay.
So I'll have to do ear training, like make sure that you're not going off pitch. You know, but I can teach you. Absolutely.
Why can I sing 10 times better in the shower than I can right now?
Because no one's listening. And I think that's just your confidence and all the serotonin just releasing in your brain.
But my voice is definitely better.
Or it could be, do you take hot showers?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so what's happening is the steam is hitting your vocal cords and it's actually lubricating the voice box and it's causing the vocal cords to be more relaxed and to stretch so that you can hit certain notes. That's why.
Let me get water real quick. So I really want to show you how good I am. Hold on. I really would. Nah, because I'm not. I'm not a professional singer, but you know. Cupid. Okay, let's start here. Let's start with Cupid.
Cupid.
Cupid doesn't lie. But
all right, so you probably may need to join my accelerator, okay?
But you can teach me how to sing.
I can. With a lot of time and patience, yes.
You might not need that much time because I'm already like kind of advanced. How would you start?
So the first thing we would do is I would teach you about the importance of engaging your diaphragm, right? because your diaphragmatic muscle is not in your stomach. It's actually a dome-shaped muscle that separates your chest cavity from your stomach. So it's used to help the lungs kind of inhale and exhale. And I would start with that first because you need to make sure that you have support to hit those notes so you can get up there. The second thing is I would teach you how to not sing so hard in your with your voice. All right. Because you kind of just go hard and you go in.
But I sing with passion.
All right.
I sing with passion.
And when you hit those high notes, if you heard in Q, he goes into something called his head voice. So it doesn't mean, do that for me, go. And do your hand like this, like gesture, go. Do your hand up, go.
It doesn't mean.
Yeah, so let's take it up there a little bit more.
Did you catch that note though?
It doesn't, you got to take it up a little bit more. It doesn't.
It doesn't mean.
We're gonna work on it. We'll work on it.
Okay.
We'll set up a 101 and work on it.
But any voice you can train to be able to sing good.
To sing. Now there are some people that are challenged. All right, tone deaf. But what I have to do is
meaning they can't hear themselves. They can't
hear themselves to know when they're off pitch. So I have to do other things like colors, which is a neurological thing that I do with singers and speakers. For those that want to sing, I teach them on colors or emotions, and that helps a lot. I also teach on numbers, believe it or not, because music is math, right? And so I teach on an 8-number scale that actually helps singers to identify tones. And then once we can do that, your brain starts to calculate it a little bit differently. So I can definitely, because you seem like a person that will excel a lot with numbers.
I want to sing to my wife and impress her.
Let's do that. Yeah. Let's work on it.
How long do you think it'll take me to really be able to get a note?
Yeah, so I would say I have a program. It's the Vocal Accelerator program. It's about 90 days, so about 3 months.
Really?
Yeah. I can teach you how to sing in 90 days. Y'all want to do it?
You want to take it? Can you sing already though? Everybody can do a little something. Everybody feel like they can do a little something. Oh, over, bro. You won't be single no more.
Oh, absolutely not.
So about 90 days is normally what I give the average person that really wants to discover their voice. And the reason is because I have to break down any old habits and rebuild new habits. And we are creatures of habit. And lots of times it takes a little bit for us to kind of to learn new things, even with speaking too. It's not just with singing. I mean, as a speaker, they're old habits. They're just bad habits that you may have as a speaker.
An example.
For example, speaking hard, right? And just going in. Or, for example...
But in the defense of that, sometimes that's one of the things that will help you get your point across with passion, because people can feel you when you're really going in.
Absolutely. So what I teach you is not to lose the passion, but to now add passion with technique. Because the thing about it is that if you add that passion, you utilize the breath support, it allows your voice to project so you don't have to go so hard. You see what I'm saying? Also, you have to know when to have periods of what we call inflection. So when you go up with your voice, when you come down with your voice, that helps a lot. Also, a good microphone helps too.
I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too. Okay, you guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept. You're stuck. You can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
That got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply
right now
to pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Because what I see a lot of speakers have is that we use the wrong mics at times, right? So this is a podcast mic. It picks up. Yeah. But when you're doing masterminds or you're doing workshops, you can use a lapel mic. You need to make sure that lapel mic is not here where it's so far away that it's not projecting your voice, because a lot of these mics are one directional, which means that you have to sing or speak directly inside of the mic for your voice to pick up. So if you still want to do the passion, you don't have to work so hard if you also have a good mic that works with it as well.
Got you.
Yeah.
What do you think about Marvin Sapp's voice? Because he has a scratchy Joey, Kelly, I'm sorry, that was Neil. Marvin Sapp has a raspy voice.
Yeah.
But he sing good.
He does. But you want to know the truth?
Yes.
A lot of people out here have vocal problems that they don't want to tell anybody about, because obviously if people know that they have vocal problems, they won't get called for a gig. There's a lot of singers out here that are living gig by gig to gig, paycheck to paycheck. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of these singers have come through and they look for a quick fix. And even speakers, Marvin Sapp is not just a singer, he's a speaker, he's a pastor. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And we have a lot of pastors now doing podcasts. We have a lot of pastors that are now doing a lot of different things like masterminds and stuff like that. They cannot even get through sermons to even brand on radio stations anymore. Wow. And so as a result of that, you have so many of them going through vocal issues right now, but it's almost like they have vocal shame, because you cannot out there and say, oh, I have nodules or polyps or, all of these major things that's happening with the voice.
Gotcha. How did you get into this work?
Yeah.
Did you grow up? I would imagine you grew up singing, I guess, in the church?
No.
No?
No, both my parents were in an R&B group in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, both my parents were singers. My father passed away during COVID.
Sorry to hear that.
But my mom and my dad, they sung like that. But for me, music has always been my blood. But I knew that I was purposed to help singers and speakers when I actually graduated from college and I got a teaching job. And when I was teaching elementary school kids, I developed nodules on my vocal folds.
Really?
I could not speak for about 6 to 8 weeks, and I went through a deep depression.
You couldn't speak at all?
Had no voice. I'm not even talking about singing. I'm just talking about speaking.
How did you get over it?
So I went to an ENT. Remember, tell you somebody you need to have on your team. Went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and at the time, I was a new teacher, so my insurance didn't kick in yet. So I didn't have insurance to get the ENT. So the ENT says to me, hey, you're going to need to pay this amount of thousands of dollars to get the nodules removed off your folds. I'm like, I have no money. I'm barely scraping just to make ends meet. And so I took my degree, went back, learned about holistic ways and how I can heal my voice without having to go under surgery. Because do you know how they actually remove stuff off your vocal folds?
Oh.
2 ways. They can either laser it off, which is radiation on the vocal cords, or they can scrape it off. Like you see how they scrape plaque off your teeth? They scrape that stuff off your vocal cords, and that can even cause scarring. So because of that, I was like, no way, I'm not doing that. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not anti-surgery, but what I'm saying is that with proper holistic methods and the curriculum that I've built, I was able to rehabilitate my own self from vocal nodules.
What did you do?
So 1, I changed my diet. All right. I watched my high acid, my low acid foods, because those things were contributing to the nodules growing on my folds. The second thing I did was I had to learn how to not be so hard on my folds. So I had to learn proper utilization of my folds by breathing techniques, doing warm-ups like I showed you, learning how to use inflections with my voice, learning when to stop and rest the voice. You see what I'm saying? Getting checkups, because I wasn't getting checkups.
So you go to the ear, nose,
Absolutely. Twice a year, right? And if you're doing it more and more, then I'll say 3 times a year you need to do it. You know
I do talk a lot.
You do.
And sometimes it's just, you feel like your voice is fatigued. But it's just, of course, if you go hoop, you fatigue. You don't think nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah, but here's a fact that you need to know. Your vocal folds need at least 3 to 5 days for any swelling to come down. So let's say you're going hard today, you're going hard, the next couple of days, and then you don't recover that voice. You're doing more damage to the voice. And then that's why the voice starts to get raspy. And then we ignore those signs, and then it gets worse and worse until literally you're speaking. And after 2 hours, you have no more voice. And then by that time, it could be too far gone. And then that messes with your bag. It messes with your brand. It messes with everything that you're doing.
I am scared.
No, don't be scared. That's what you got.
I would hate for that to happen.
No, but I got you. I'm gonna make sure that I equip you. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm gonna do for you. So I'm gonna give you, and everybody's watching too, I'm gonna give you a freebie. I'm gonna drop that for you.
Word?
Yes, I'm gonna give you a freebie. So I'm going to give you a whole entire list of high acid and low acid foods that I want you to start to look at, right? You're going to look and you're going to, like the same thing I did with Q, you're going to go and you're going to look at it and see what is it that I'm actually eating that's causing my voice to actually, especially because you sleep on your the left side, that you could be dealing with postnasal drip, raspiness, sore throat, vocal fatigue. And then I'm going to give you a list of low acid foods, as well as all the listeners that's listening as well. And on top of that, I'm going to give you a list of mucus enhancing and mucus eliminating foods. Ask me why.
Why?
Because too much mucus in the body is not good. Right?
I can feel that.
And that leads to something called histamine. Histamine is what's causing inflammation and infection in your body.
I heard of an antihistamine blocker.
Right.
What was that? Where did I hear that at? Antihistamine, huh? TV somewhere. So that's what they're talking about, an antihistamine.
Yeah, but most
antihistamine.
Yeah, and most antihistamines though are decongestants. And most of those decongestants like Zyrtec and Claritin and Mucinex are dehydrating. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be careful because lots of times what they do is they are eliminating mucus, but they start to eliminate good mucus. And there's good mucus in your body. Your saliva has it. Your blood has it. You know what I mean? All of that has it. And it's used as a cleanser for your sinus ducts. So you have to be moderate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you access to that. And I'm going to give all your listeners access to it by just texting the word freebie to 786-613-4217.
That's dope, man. I really appreciate it. You are doing the work.
Thank you.
Especially because we're in and I think you're a hot brand. You are a hot topic because everyone's building their brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And everyone's, I think, I don't know the stats, but I would imagine that people talk much more than they used to, just as a whole.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, what we're finding at this during this pandemic right now, that obviously online courses has risen, podcasts have risen.
For sure.
So there's a lot of people now that are starting podcasts, they're doing online courses, IG lives, webinars, all those things have increased. And of course, I've never seen a person mime a webinar. You know what I mean? Or mime a podcast. Imagine if you mime a podcast. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's increasing. And that's why I am definitely needed. That's why this subject is definitely something that is overlooked, but people don't even realize that it's needed. That's why I always say, I am the person you never knew you needed.
Yeah. And it's, again, it really gives me two thoughts. One, I need to take care of my voice. Yeah. Two, I need to not be so reliant on me saying something cool to make money.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in that space.
Yeah.
So you work with people in what capacity? Is it like you come to me and we go through the like, are we gonna do that together?
I had Neo try to do it.
Can you do it?
Neo couldn't do it at all. It was a struggle.
Joe Rod is really good at it. First time. Can you do it? All right, so look, let me educate you real quick.
But you learned one. You learned the straw.
Yes, I'm really good with that one.
Yeah.
Let me educate you real quick. So you put your mouth together and you gotta breathe out of your cerebral cortex.
Cerebral cortex.
I don't know. I think I heard you say that today. It's a vocal exercise. You don't want to try it? Yeah.
Oh, okay. But if you cannot do that, you absolutely can do.
Give me another one. You got another exercise for me?
Yeah. So there's something also called cup phonation, right? So you just get a plastic cup or like a white paper cup.
You got a cup?
A paper cup. And you just create like you get that pen and create like a little hole in it. And you just literally, you can sing, girl, if I told you I love you. You can sing your favorite song in there as a warm-up.
First off, real quick, did you catch that note I just hit, though?
I did. It was a little, but...
Thank you.
Well, if you had a paper cup, it would be better. Yeah.
It don't work?
White
it doesn't
paper.
work in plastic?
I mean, because you're going to be like trying to get a hole in there. Not a big hole. Just remember, the smaller the hole, the greater the resistance. All right? The bigger the hole, the less the resistance.
Oh, man. That's too big of a hole.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Okay? No. Don't blow into it. Just sing. Go ahead.
Girl, if I told you
put it.
You,
okay.
That doesn't mean I'm going to cheat on you.
Now.
I'm going to know. What does this do for me?
So what it does is what we call SOVT exercise, right? Which means that it's SOVT just stands for semi-occluded vocal tract exercise. It's just a fancy word for semi-closed. So what it's doing is, as you're singing in that cup, the air is circulating back into your mouth, is going down into your voice box. It's meeting the air coming up from your lungs and it's causing pressure. And that pressure starts to relax the muscles around your vocal cords so that you don't have to be going so hard when you're speaking and going so hard when you're attempting to sing.
Well, let me ask you, wearing a mask, is that helping everyone's voice?
That's a touchy subject. Okay, so no. I'm going to say no. Because you don't have to blow into it.
Bad. I was trying to practice while you was talking and I don't want to be singing.
You can just talk into it. Yeah, you can talk into it. Just talk regular. So, don't pout your
So tell me about this whole mask thing.
Right. So with the mask,
what is this doing again?
So that's causing pressure to go back into your voice box. It's meeting with the pressure coming up through your windpipe called subglottal pressure. And what it's doing is causing a cushioning around your vocal cords and relaxing the muscles around your vocal cords. So your muscles need to stretch in order for you to actually be vocally agile, which is just swift and your vocal cords to be flexible as a speaker so that you don't get so tired so fast.
Does breathing in and out of this do anything for my voice?
Not necessarily breathing in and out of it. It's actually when you breathe in and using the air to support your vocal cords as you speak. That's how it works.
It feels like it's working now.
It is because it's a lot of resistance. This is a very small hole.
I like this.
All right.
This is good. You are the GOAT.
Thank you.
You were about to say something before I started singing.
No, you were asking me about how, how people reach me.
Yes,
so
there's
a couple ways. I have a Voice Masters Academy, right?
Too much pressure went into my my brachials.
Your what? He's like making up stuff here.
Yeah, you use bad words. You went to college?
Of course I did.
For sure, I could tell.
University of Miami, Canes, yes. I didn't go to HBCU, unfortunately, but Canes is as close to the orange and green I'm going to get.
I feel like. Maybe that's why I don't know the words because I was
He said it's cerebral cortex. That was interesting.
So is it one-on-one?
So I have a couple ways in which people can work with me. So there's an ebook, all right, because not everyone can get access to me, but there's an ebook, the Vocal Blueprint, and they can go to vocalblueprint.com and get that. Also, too, I have a Voice Masters Academy. That's a group coaching program. And that's voicemastersacademy.com, where for 12 weeks, my team, I have vocal coaches that I certify under me that actually for 12 weeks go and teach groups how to utilize their voice, speakers and singers. And then I do have a one-on-one, all right, mentorship program that people that actually want to be able to reach me, they can go and they can reach me there at one-to-one, which is also a part of the Vocal Academy. And then also too, I have a one-day event, a mastermind that I do with high-performing speakers and singers. As a matter of fact, Q and I actually partner in that together.
So tell me about the thing you partner with. First of all, how you meet Q?
So
my favorite R&B group.
Really? 112? He all right. No, I'm joking. So I was actually teaching in Las Vegas. I was doing a clinic. I get called and booked to do clinics for music conferences, and the Stellar Awards was happening, award show. And I was called to do a clinic for the industry, and Q was in the room. And Q came up to me. He was like, yo, I need you. And really, that's how we met.
How long was that?
That was about maybe 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
And what is the program y'all partnered on?
So I have a Vocal Accelerator Masterclass that I take city to city. I did one recently in Miami on December 11th. And so we're doing another one in March 5th to be exact, here in Atlanta, Georgia. And so it's a one-day event where it's just nothing but impact and value all day. I bring in ear, nose, and throat doctors. I bring in speech language pathologists. I bring in mental health counselors to talk about the correlation between mental health and vocal health. We talk about mindset because there's a lot of people that don't like to hear the sound of their voice. They don't like, some of them are sitting on podcasts. They're sitting on audiobooks. They're sitting on albums, but because they don't like how they sound, they refuse to do it, right? They think that they need it to be perfect. So we actually teach on mindset. We also teach on purpose, and we teach about monetizing, how to use your voice to scale to 6 and 7 figures, right? So we do all of that in one day.
I forgot about it. What about orange juice? I love orange juice.
Orange juice is acidic, number one, because it's high in acid, and it causes mucus to build. It's phlegmy. So if you ever had orange juice, you ever notice you had like a little bit of mucus or buildup or phlegm afterwards? Yeah.
I love orange juice. What can I drink?
So
what's not acidic?
So here's the thing. Before you can do that, we need for you to do a pH levels test first.
And you said go to Whole Foods, get a little strip and pee on the strip.
You could ask for pH strips. You could definitely urinate on the strip, and that will be able to show you what your pH levels look like on the inside. And then the list that I'm going to give you and the freebie that I'm going to give out, you're going to be able to see all the high acid and low acid. So what are the drinks that are acidic? You ready for it?
No.
Pineapple juice,
I love
grapefruit
pineapple
juice,
juice.
orange juice, lemon juice, white wine, any sports drinks. All right, Gatorade.
But it helps with your
electrolytes. But if you read the back of it, right, there's a lot of things. Now you asked me the question, right? You asked me the question. I'm just giving you the value, right? So these things are actually high in acid. All right. Now it's not to say that you can't have them, David. It's just to say that moderation is key. Do you understand?
Moderation is key. Yeah,
moderation.
sure.
And I want everybody here listening to this podcast to understand moderation is key. All right. I'm not saying you can't, but not all voices are created equal.
Yeah.
So what somebody else may be able to do, you may not be able to do.
Solid.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, check out your pH levels. Make sure your stress levels stay down because all those things affect your voice as well.
Gotcha. This has been very helpful.
I'm glad.
I'm taking this with me though.
Yeah. Try the lip trills one more time.
Hold on, the lip drill. Which one? Hold on.
The same one, yeah.
Which one?
The lips.
Oh. I think I'm ready.
Breathe through your nose.
Breathe through my nose, not my...
And the reason I'm saying breathe through your nose is because it preserves moisture in your throat. And also it allows you to do more deep breathing.
Okay.
So, now go. There you go!
Oh, yeah.
See, you got it. So you have three things. You have lip trills, you have straw phonation with the bottle, and you have cup phonation. Yeah. Boom. Yeah.
I got one question before we get out of here. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Only because I want to be able to watch this in 5 years and say, you know what? She said she was going to be doing that. Look, 5 years later, you're here.
5 years from now, 3 years from now, let's go there. I want to do my first TED Talk. I'm not talking local. I'm talking the stage, a TED Talk.
So not
stage.
TEDx.
I want to do this stage. I want to be the go-to person that everyone comes to find out about their voice. I want to travel the world and do masterminds and clinics, educating high performance speakers and singers on the importance of preserving their voice cache and their vocal real estate. I want to see myself, more ebooks, more courses, and being able to just really push speakers and singers into their purpose.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm doing it already. So just God opening up that door and doing it more.
I love it. That is awesome. Look, man, I'm going to do a quick commercial. Then I'm going to come back to you so you can let everybody know how to find you. I'm sure we'll have some links somewhere. And think of some discounts that you can give my audience. You're giving them the freebie.
I did give them the freebie.
Something that they can go put in code social proof and they get a discount. I don't know what the discount's going to be, but whatever it is going to be. So this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, the only organization that gathers every day for the betterment of entrepreneurs. We have a group. We get it's literally between 500 and 700 people every single morning.
Wow.
Monday through Friday.
Wow.
I'm risking my voice. I'm risking it all for my group.
Yeah, you are.
But it's really dope because we have a topic for the month. We have in every call throughout the week supports the topic for the month. And we have a book club, which is really, really awesome. So go to themorningmeetup.com. Check us out for a $1 trial. If you like it, stay. If you don't, you can leave. It's all good. But go to themorningmeetup.com. So let's close it out, man. Let everybody know how to find. I want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
1, for the freebie. 2, for allowing me to take my voice into consideration. Because that is the power. Because I can have it all up here, but if I can't say it, that's a big problem.
Yeah, so your greatest assets is here and here.
That's a fact. Yeah. So I want to say thank you on behalf of our audience, but let everybody know how to find you. And then close us out with a word of wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things. Ashaala Shanae, ASHAALA SHANAE. You can find me on all social media platforms. I definitely want to make sure that I'm able to bless all your listeners with the ebook called The Vocal Blueprint, which is 7 must-have steps that every high-performance speaker and singer should know about how to ensure that bag, how to secure that gig, and make sure that they're doing that. So we want to make sure that they go to the vocalblueprint.com, and we're going to make sure we put that code in for social proof.
For sure.
So they could definitely get that. Of course, the freebie, you're going to get access to a list of high acid and low acid foods, 786-613-4217. And of course, you can find me. My company is called The Mahi, the Music and Arts Healing Institute. And that's www.themahi.com.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Close us out with a word of wisdom. Somebody watching right now that needs a word from you.
Absolutely. Which camera should I look
Close us out. The middle one.
All right. I'm going to do Coach Kelly here. All right. So I want you to say this with me. My voice is enough. Say that.
My voice is enough.
I want you to say that, because what that does is that literally everything that you have been said to you, everything that you have thought about yourself, that your voice wasn't urgent, it wasn't necessary, every vocal insecurity, every vocal fear, every vocal anxiety, competition, comparison, all that gets eliminated based on those words right there. My voice is enough. Your voice matters. There are people, there are ears that are assigned to your voice. And the more you wait for procrastination, or the more you're thinking about perfectionism, or the more you always compare and looking at everybody else, if you're trying to sound like everybody else, who's going to be you? And so I want you to know that you have no more time to waste time. You cannot afford to be in the same position this year as you were last year. I need you to know that your voice is enough. Your voice matters. Use it. People want to hear it. And I'm here to just not confirm it. You already have confirmations. I'm just here to affirm what's already been confirmed. All right, go use your voice now.
There it is, man. Look, you can't close it out no better than that, man. Go follow Shayla right now, okay? Her Instagram is here somewhere. And also do me a favor. Okay, I got to do my close with this. Go get you some social proof, okay? Meaning go build something and then come back to your community and teach your community how to do it. We out of here. Peace.
Bye.